He's simply saying, well, I prosecute all crimes. At the same time, he has a written policy saying that illegal immigrants are going to be treated and given preferential treatment differently from American citizens. On one hand, he sits in front of this committee and says, we don't follow sanctuary policies. At the same time, he openly admits he conducts himself in a manner in which he does not cooperate with federal immigration authorities. That's the very definition of sanctuary policies. No, I fundamentally disagree with his assessment.
This stopped sounding political the second the victim's family entered into the conversation here.
Thank you, sir. I'm sorry, Ms. Minter, what a very story. Stephanie, the numerous pictures we saw, beautiful. I apologize for the individuals that have held onto these irresponsible policies, costing the lives of many, many innocent Americans. So I apologize. Mr. Kennedy, I appreciate your passion. You're right on target. Mr. Descano, well, Ms. Sheriff Kincaid, thank you for your service. Mr. Descano, I consider you a disgrace. I yield the rest of my balance of my time to my colleague, Mr. Cline.
I thank the gentleman, and I thank the chairman for allowing me to sit on this panel today. I represent the vast majority of Virginia citizens who stand with you, Ms. Minter, and who are so sorry for the tragedy that occurred. And our prayers are with you and with your daughter, who is in heaven looking down on this right now. And, you know, I heard your apology, Mr. Descano. I think the public would like to hear your resignation. Let me ask you, when Abdul Jala is released, will you honor an ICE detainer?
Sir, my office is a prosecuting office. We don't receive ICE detainers. That's not our business.
Will you, Sheriff Kincaid, will you honor the ICE detainer?
Well, thank you for that question. And I would certainly hope that this case would be prosecuted and that justice would be served. Certainly when it comes to Mr. Jala, there hasn't been ICE detainers with the exception of one time in 2018, which we turned him over to ICE, and then the second time, which we had to release him to a facility. Each other time he's been in my custody, there's been no detainers.
Okay, guys, understand what's happening here. They're basically passing the ball to each other here, right? So being asked directly, would you honor an ICE detainer? Then a prosecutor says, well, we don't really honor ICE detainers at all. Then the sheriff then says, well, if they prosecute it, you understand what's happening here, guys? We're passing the ball here. And we're wondering why things are not getting done kind of large scale in the United States of America currently, guys. Let's continue.
Each other time he's been in my custody, there's been no detainers.
If one comes, will you honor it?
As long as I have the authority to do so, and ICE knows what our policy is.
Then yes.
See, guys, yes or no?
If I'm given a judicial warrant, yes.
Okay.
That's different.
Well, it's what gives me the authority to detain somebody when I receive a court order from a judge mandating someone's release. I would also hope that ICE would know when Mr. Jala is getting released, so that they would be able to come and pick him up. And we do plan, should he get convicted, we do plan on taking him, driving him down to the Department of Corrections.
All right, well, Mr. Descano, your policy tells prosecutors to give lighter treatment to defendants based on their immigration status. Isn't that just discrimination with a sympathetic face? And why are you protecting criminal illegal aliens more than the people of Fairfax County, the citizens?
Well, first of all, sir, I think there's two things wrong with it in the question that you asked me. We're not protecting undocumented individuals. As a matter of fact, we prosecute people who commit crimes in Fairfax County regardless of their status. And so the idea that we don't do that is simply wrong. Our policies simply maintain that our role is to prosecute Virginia crime. That's what we do. ICE's role is to do federal civil immigration enforcement.
Mr. Miyares, you disagree with that?
Fundamentally, he has a written policy to that effect. He is conflating two different issues. He is simply saying, well, I prosecute all crimes. At the same time, he has a written policy saying that illegal immigrants are going to be treated and given preferential treatment differently from American citizens. On one hand, he sits in front of this committee and says, we don't follow sanctuary policies. At the same time, he openly admits he conducts himself in a manner in which he does not cooperate with federal immigration authorities. That's the very definition of sanctuary policies. No, I fundamentally disagree with his assessment. There are 95 counties in Virginia, Congressman. Only one county with one prosecutor has a written policy saying we're going to treat illegal immigrants differently than American citizens. It is Mr. Toscano to my left, period, full stop.
Well, I know that when ICE does work with localities, the system can work. I worked in the Harrisonburg-Rockingham Commonwealth's Attorney's Office. They had a 287G agreement with ICE, and when individuals who were prosecuted, who were here illegally, eventually served their sentences, they were met by ICE. They were retrieved by ICE and returned to their countries of origin. The people of Rockingham and Harrisonburg benefited from that policy because the streets were safer, and people who committed crimes were not returned to the communities that they threatened prior to their arrest. So, you know, the people who are here in from Fairfax stand and answer the ranking member's question about, well, I've run out of time, so I hope I can get some more time because people who are working hard in Fairfax County deserve to not just feel safe, as the ranking member indicated,
be safe,
but actually are safe.
The gentleman's time has expired.
Yeah, guys, who's surprised? The idea that someone would basically say in the United States of America that if you are an illegal immigrant here, then obviously still refuse to even call it exactly what it is here, basically dancing around language for some reason. Let's not do this here, okay? If it's orange, it's orange, if that makes any sense here, guys. The fact that he's saying here, if you are an American citizen, you're going to be held accountable, let's say, much more than if you were someone here who's here illegal. Why would they be doing this? Understand this here. This is nothing more than a protest against the federal government, because literally the constituents most likely are all excessively left-leaning, and then perceive that people that commit crime that are also here under the guise of some type of asylum fraud, most likely, these individuals need to be handled with kid gloves, basically. No, guys, what are you talking about here? They proved the point, if that makes any sense, right? Like, if you are here under asylum, okay, for the sole purpose of where you are coming from is so terrible that you had to run from it, okay? Understand? You come here, and then you come here while you're under asylum, you then start committing crimes. Shouldn't that be the metric you look at? Like, hey, listen, these guys here came here. They say they need our help, our assistance, our money, right? Our health care, our everything, right? Our roads that they didn't help pay for, our schools that they didn't help pay for, all these things. They want us to help them. They want us to help them. And then they come here and commit crimes. Guys, is it everyone? No. The overwhelming majority of people that have come into this country, okay, are not going to commit a secondary or tertiary offense. Let's just be completely honest here. There's a small percentage of individuals that have come in that are here absolutely, in fact, just create mayhem. And they are standing in the same line. And they're standing in the same line as the other like 80% that are not going to commit a secondary or tertiary offense. So I guess my only message here to the people that absolutely believe in our open borders and just willy-nilly asylum, kind of regardless of if it's a viable case or not here. Two things can be true at the same time, guys. If you are going to back the idea of open borders and all of these other things that are moderately ridiculous, in my head at least, right? But if you want to back it, great. I love that for you. But what you need to understand is that two things can be true. You can back it while also completely disavowing the idea that people are coming to this, that there are some in the group, okay, that are absolutely reprehensible. It's fine. And like, trust me when I say this here, like if AOC was to come out tomorrow, or Ilhan Omar, or Rashida Tlaib, any of these absolute, individuals, right, were to come forward tomorrow and say, you know what, we need to get these criminal asylees out of the country. I think that would absolutely change the overall tone that some people have towards them, because outside looking in, it's incredibly ridiculous that you ignore this 10% of absolute outrageous criminality coming from some of these people that have come into this country under the guise of asylum. All right. If you were just to say, you know what, you're right, that we're going to go ahead and gun for them, then that would say, you know what, hold on, maybe the Democrat Party cares about the United States of America and not just their ideology. Maybe, right? Because until then, until they absolutely start pushing back against some of the things that they know are legitimately insanely crazy, until then, they get no respect from people that actually care about the idea of accountability. They get no respect. And that's a problem, bro. Right? Just look at it. Just try to hear me out on that for a second. Just look at it closely. Tell me if you would be like, I have to give it to them. Right? Because if you even have to sit and think for a second, let's say, right, that hold on, if Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar came out and said, that person here is here under the idea of asylum. I like asylum, and I like how our asylum system is, right? But that's a small group inside of the group that are absolutely terrible. And okay, I'm sorry, they need to go, right? Like if you would just say that, I think there will be some people who would be like moderates mainly, not ones who have just completely gone fully to the right. If that makes any sense here. Like I'm talking about the ones in the middle who are like, you may get a libertarian or two, okay? You may, because now you're not looking as ridiculously biased as everyone thinks you are. I'm just a guy on the internet though. Listen, you guys have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. If you guys are new here, please like and subscribe. And in the meantime, guys, I'll go and catch you guys later.